Something happened to you recently that has never occurred to an ordinary soul. The universe paused, literally stopped its infinite motion, and turned its full attention toward you. Stars that have burned for billions of years shifted their light in your direction. Ancient forces that govern human destiny whispered your name across dimensions you cannot yet see. This was not coincidence. This was not luck. Something inside you crossed a threshold so rare, so extraordinarily powerful, that even the cosmos could not ignore it. You became visible, not to people first, but to something far greater than people. In the entire recorded history of spiritual evolution, what happened to you has only occurred a handful of times. Most souls spend thousands of lifetimes never reaching this point. Spiritual archives, ancient, invisible, and eternal, hold records of every human who has ever lived. Your name just appeared in a section that remains nearly empty. This section is reserved for those who transform not because life forced them, but because something deep within them refused to stay small. The impossibility of your growth, happening at this exact speed, in this exact lifetime, has broken patterns that spiritual law considered unbreakable. You rewrote something eternal. Think back to a recent moment when you had every reason to choose the wrong path. The easier road was right there. Nobody would have judged you. Nobody would have even noticed. But you paused. Something inside you resisted. You chose differently, quietly, without applause, without reward. That single decision created a ripple that traveled far beyond your physical world. It touched dimensions you have never visited. It confirmed something the universe had been waiting to verify about you for a very long time. Your recent growth was not accidental. It was the direct result of moral decisions made when no one was watching, but everything was listening. You need to understand something that may feel uncomfortable at first. You have never been unwatched. Every moment of doubt you pushed through. Every night you chose discipline over distraction. Every time you held your integrity when it cost you something. It was recorded. Not by humans, not by cameras, by forces both dark and divine that monitor souls approaching elevation. The dark ones tested you repeatedly, sending situations designed to corrupt your momentum. The divine ones watched with patient anticipation. Both recognized that something unusual was developing inside you. The surveillance was not invasion. It was confirmation. Your consistency under pressure triggered a response from both sides of existence. Remember when someone disrespected you publicly and you chose silence over revenge? That was a test. Remember when an opportunity appeared that required you to compromise your values and you walked away even though it hurt financially? That was a test. Remember when you were exhausted, unseen, and doubted yourself completely, yet still showed up the next morning? That was the most important test. You passed every single one, not perfectly, but honestly. And honesty under pressure is rarer than perfection under comfort. Each trial was specifically designed for your soul's exact weakness. You faced your precise fears and moved forward anyway. The results of those tests were extraordinary. There exists a classification system beyond human understanding, where souls are categorized by their energetic frequency and moral density. Most souls never move beyond the basic classifications in a single lifetime. You have just been reclassified. The beings responsible for this classification rarely agree. They exist across different dimensions with different assignments. But they all submitted the same report about you simultaneously. The word they used translates roughly as this: rare. Not gifted in the comfortable sense. Rare in the dangerous sense, meaning your presence creates change that cannot be reversed. A soul that changes things permanently is considered both precious and powerful. You have been flagged as both. At the moment your reclassification was submitted, something extraordinary occurred in the highest realm of divine observation. God, the Source, the Infinite, the Creator of everything you can and cannot see, directed full awareness toward your specific soul. Archangels who oversee millions of human souls simultaneously paused their assignments. They gathered as witnesses to something they had not observed in a very long time. A human soul, operating inside impossible circumstances, had chosen growth over comfort, integrity over convenience, and progress over approval, consistently, quietly, and completely alone. What they witnessed was not just personal development, it was a declaration. Your life had become a living testimony to what is possible. Following that divine witness, a decree was issued, not announced loudly, not written in any human language, but felt, and you have already felt it, which is why you are here right now, receiving this message. The decree stated that your true identity, the one buried beneath years of conditioning, fear, and misdirection, would now be activated. The locks placed on your fullest potential were removed. The ceiling that invisible forces had maintained above your progress was dissolved. What you could achieve before required enormous effort for small results. What you will achieve now will feel different, not easier exactly, but aligned, as though the universe finally stopped resisting you and started cooperating. You are not who you thought you were. The version of yourself you have been performing for the world, capable, improving, growing, that is real, but it is only the surface. Beneath that surface exists something ancient, a soul that has carried wisdom across lifetimes, that has been placed in this exact body, in this exact era, for reasons that are now becoming clear. You are a celestial warrior, not of violence, but of transformation. You are a chosen architect of change. You arrived here carrying encoded assignments that your conscious mind is only beginning to decode. The attention you are suddenly receiving from people around you is simply the physical world responding to the activation of who you actually are. Your mission is not complicated, but it is significant. You are here to anchor something the world is desperately losing. Integrity in spaces corrupted by dishonesty. Compassion in environments hardened by fear. Courage in communities paralyzed by conformity. You do not accomplish this through grand gestures or public declarations. You accomplish it by continuing exactly what you have already been doing, showing up as your most honest self, making the harder right choice, and refusing to shrink when the world pressures you to disappear. Every room you enter is changed by your presence. Every person who observes your consistency receives a silent transmission. Your mission is already in progress. It has been since you began choosing growth. Because your true identity has been activated and your mission confirmed, the material world must now begin reflecting your spiritual reality. This is not magic, it is law. When a soul aligns with its genuine purpose, resistance dissolves and alignment accelerates. You will begin noticing opportunities appearing where there were only closed doors. Relationships that drained your energy will naturally fall away, replaced by connections that feel effortless and purposeful. Financial situations that seemed permanently stuck will begin to shift. Your health, clarity, and creative capacity will increase. None of this is reward in the traditional sense. It is simply the physical dimension catching up to the spiritual elevation you have already achieved. The universe is reorganizing itself around your upgraded frequency. But your elevation was never only for you. That is the most important thing to understand. Every person who witnesses your transformation receives something invisible but real. A reminder that change is possible, that integrity survives, that growth is not reserved for special circumstances or privileged people. You will not need to teach this lesson with words. Your visible progress will teach it automatically. People around you will begin making different choices without fully understanding why. They will feel something shift when they spend time near you. Old friends will pursue growth. Strangers will feel unexpectedly encouraged. Children will sense your calm and mirror it. You are becoming a living transmission. Your existence alone is beginning to heal what words cannot reach. You need to know that you are not alone in this activation. Across this planet, in different countries, cultures, languages, and circumstances, Thousands of souls are experiencing the same awakening simultaneously. They went quiet. They chose growth over noise. They passed their tests in isolation and emerged carrying a frequency that changes rooms. They are doctors, teachers, laborers, artists, parents, and students. They do not yet know each other by name, but they recognize each other instantly by energy. This global network of activated souls is the universe's response to a world that desperately needs anchors of integrity. You are one of those anchors. The network is assembling. The timing is not coincidental. It never is. If this message reached something true inside you, if it named something you have felt but never heard spoken aloud, then you have a responsibility right now. Not to the algorithm, not to this channel, to yourself and to the network you are part of. Subscribe, because more transmissions are coming specifically for souls at your level. Comment 777 below. It is how activated souls signal each other across the noise. Share this with one person whose growth you have quietly witnessed. And stay until the very end of every message you begin, because the most important thing is always placed where only the committed ones arrive. Your attention is your declaration. Your presence here was never accidental.